So I believe that today is our Gratitude Sunday. It's tradition, it's obvious, it's every year at this time. And I have come to believe most definitely that gratitude could be its own religion. Absolutely. Fully practiced, immersed, contemplated on a regular diet on a daily basis. You would not need anything else. I mean, there are many compliments to it, but if you simply practice gratitude in and of itself, your life would consistently move in a direction of feel where you'd feel uplifted. That's a fact. The science is behind it. There's neuroscience that studies a lot of it out there that talks about the power of gratitude. All the oxytocin and the other happy hormones that get released into the body temple, a lot of that comes through a practice of gratitude, practice of kindness, and should I say, a practice of forgiveness. I'm moving to, I was driving in the Acme parking lot the other day going shopping, and I look and there's this young boy, and I didn't know who it was. I didn't know if it was his mother, wound up being his older sister. There was a quite an age difference. And they came out of the Acme, and I was pulling into the parking lot slowly, but as soon as he saw the car, he stopped his mother, or what I thought was his mother, to kind of protect her. And this young boy, I don't know, he couldn't have been more than 14 or 15. So I watch this, and then I go and I park my car, and I happen to park right next to where they are. And I opened the window and I said, that was so lovely. Like, it was lovely to witness this young person being protective. I mean, there's something absolutely beautiful about witnessing kindness. This is something that we have spoken about many times. But for the practice of gratitude, the practice of kindness, and the practice of forgiveness all together mashed up is a absolute healing, magical, miraculous practice that elevates our spirit, our body, our mind, our soul. Absolutely. And which is probably why one of my favorite, it's not new to me, but I've been very devoted to it, practice is the practice of Ho'oponopono. Because the beauty of Ho'oponopono is it's a combination. It brings in gratitude and it brings in forgiveness in one practice. So I'll give you an example of having gratitude and forgiveness in one practice. So I'm so blessed to know to be in the experience right now of buying a home. I never thought I'd be a homeowner ever again. I didn't. And some of you have heard the story about how that unfolded. So here we are, we're becoming homeowners, but we need to do work in the house. So I'm reaching out to contractors. Now, what is the first thing you thought when I said contractors? For you as homeowners, what's the first thing that comes up? For many, it is that contractors don't follow through, contractors don't get back to us, all this stuff, right? Can I see with a show of hands if anybody has a story or a complaint that you've had to deal with? Yeah, some, right? It's out there. And so I recognize that here we are working to finalize who is going to take care of our home. But I have in me this boatload of judgment and this boatload of criticism and this boatload of, oh, they're never going to follow through in my consciousness. How can I expect to have a different experience if I carry into the room an expectation of being disappointed? Are you with me? You get that? I carry the expectation into the room. So I am setting myself up and I'm setting Neil up immediately for disappointment. So I thought to myself, because I felt myself doing it the other day, and boy, is it easy to get agreement on this. It is so easy. You ever find that there's certain subjects where you mentioned it to somebody and everybody can jump in and give you a high five? Oh, yeah, you're right there. So I was noticing that and I thought, no. So the other day, I decided to start with my Ho'oponopono practice and with my practice of gratitude, specifically around my relationship to contractors and that whole world of people. And it was so sweet. So every night I've been going to bed with, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, on a regular basis. And this morning, after we woke up early this morning, Neil opens the door, my bedroom door this morning as I'm getting ready for my prayer part. He says, "Oh, by the way, Paul, the contractor, called back and he said he's going to have the contract in a couple of days." And I thought, oh, that's what happens when I go for God instead of going for my human opinion. Right? You catch that? Gratitude does that. Gratitude for things that you think, if you're in a relationship and you it is agreed that if it's agreed that the husband takes care of the garbage or the wife takes care of the food, so there's all these expectations. So sometimes we go unconscious. Thank them anyway. Thank them anyway. Every time someone takes out the garbage, every time they take out the recycling, every time someone makes a meal, washes a dish for you, thank them. Be present to the giving that and the generosity that someone is serving you. That helps to transform the way that experience will even go and that relationship. There are I want to read you some of the benefits that they say, and this is from the mental health people. This is some of the benefits of gratitude: greater happiness, more optimism and positive emotions, new and lasting relationships, better health, more progress toward personal goals, fewer aches and pains. Anybody, any gray-haired people like a fewer aches and pains? Yeah, hello. So more alertness and determination, increased generosity and empathy, better sleep, improved self-esteem. Practicing gratitude activates these things in your life. So we're going to do something, and Neil, I'm going to make you host for a moment so you can take care of this for me. There we go. What we're going to do is that we're going to actually, I'm going to give you an opportunity right now within this community to practice gratitude. This is very unusual for us. We haven't gone into groups online like this in a bit. But we're going to bring everybody. So I'm going to hopefully invite everyone to come on screen if you're capable of coming on screen. And we're going to be breaking everybody into groups of 3 for 5 minutes. And what this is going to, the way this is going to look, if I was in a group with like Brian and Elaine, I might start it by saying, I am so grateful that I live across the street from my grandchildren. And Brian will say, I'm so grateful I still have good hair on my head. and Elaine, because you do have good, yeah, it's still there though, Brian. And Elaine might say something, oh, and I'm so grateful for the dentist that took good care of my mouth, right? And then you go around like that for 5 minutes. You want to feel the body. Feel how your body, the chemistry of your body changes because you became conscious and you shared gratitude. Everybody understand? We have any questions? And it should be fun. Let it be light, but definitely come up with things you're grateful for. So one more request. If everyone could come back on screen, that's not, I appreciate it, so that we could do this right away. And it's okay, Donnie, you're beautiful. We love you exactly as you are. I know, and I mean it. I'm not just saying it. And so, Neil, if you will, if you break us up into groups for 5 minutes, and you can even throw me in there and I'll participate wherever I land. How do you feel? How do you feel? Can you get a sense of how sharing that joy elevates you? That's why it's so important for us to continue, really continue to have gratitude for this community. And a couple of people said that because here in this community, you'll find somebody who will meet you and be willing to celebrate that. The world has enough evidence of pain and discomfort and suffering. There's a lot of evidence out there. We're not unconscious to the pain of others. We're not unconscious to the loneliness. We're not unconscious to the anxiety. As a matter of fact, it's being aware of all those things and how everybody is taxed that we decided to launch this thing Wednesday night with Karen Drucker. She's beautiful. We use her music. We're going to have chanting and ritual. And the main reason is to meet you where you are. We simply don't want anyone to feel alone. I mean, choosing to be alone is one thing. But if you think you don't have an option, that's where it starts to get hard. And this community, we are going to be putting things in place so that we create a buddy system so that everyone has someone to call and has someone calling them. We are putting this in place. We want you to know that you are not forgotten, especially at this time until we can all get together to hug each other, once again. So, so there is something in the attitude of thanksgiving that carries us beyond the field of doubt into one perfect faith and acceptance, receptivity, and realization. It's Ernest Holmes. There is something in this attitude of thanksgiving that carries us beyond the field of doubt into one perfect faith and acceptance, receptivity, and realization. But it must be active. I mean, there are just some very, very some very simple things to do. And a part of it is to, when you wake up in the morning, either before you put your feet on the bed or the moment you swing your legs over and your feet touch the floor, activate your gratitude right away. I'm so grateful I can move out of my bed. I'm grateful I can stand on my own 2 feet. I'm grateful that I have a bed. We should never dismiss these things. There's many in this world that don't have those things. Drove Neil up to Dover the other day to rent the van that everyone used to move us out of 31, and I noticed on that day that there was this gentleman, very dressed, very dirty, sitting in a doorway in the morning. I drove Neil about 8:30 in the morning. We went back at night, late, like 10 o'clock at night, to return the van, and that man was sitting in the same place. So I want you to get, like, I have no idea his circumstance. I have no idea what he's feeling. I have no idea what that means to him. But it just present me to the abundance that I have in my life of community, of a roof over my head, food on my table, friends to call, so I don't have to feel alone. You know, Elizabeth Gilbert said, you were given life It is your duty and also your entitlement as a human being to find something beautiful within it, no matter how slight. It is not a silly practice to practice being grateful for even the little things. It's a masterful practice, especially since when our mind is on gratitude, it can't be distracted from other things. There's a parable. The king, I know I never give you parables. You're probably like, what? The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked all through the dough. Now, why did they choose 60 pounds of flour? I have no idea. But what I want to focus on is if you know anything, if you've ever baked bread, bread works because yeast itself is alive. And the proportion of yeast to flour, yeast is a very small amount to a very large amount of flour. And so, in order to make it work, though, you have to knead it through the bread. If I had flour over here and yeast over here, I would never get bread. I have to have the yeast come together with the bread, and I have to lean into the bread. So there's this motion. Anybody know that motion? Any bread bakers out here? Right? You turn over the yeast and you lean into it. And it's this rocking motion. It's actually quite soothing. People, over the years, people say, "Oh, get a bread maker." No, I would miss the rocking. So you lift up the yeast in the flour that's been, the dough that's been made up, and you knead it usually about 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, that yeast has been worked all through the flour. And so then the flour grows. And I feel like baking bread is like a miraculous feeling because you have these elements that were separate, but when you combine them, they create the sustenance of life. Yes, the smell of yeast is wonderful, someone said in the chat. Gratitude is that. So we don't want gratitude just as a rigid practice. We want gratitude so we wake up where, oh, thank God I'm awake. Oh, thank God I'm going to sleep. Oh, thank God I slept through the night. I know there's a lot of people here who'd be very happy to just sleep through the night without waking up. Thank God for my children, even when they're misbehaving. Oh, thank God for the weather, even when the weather's not good. Oh, thank God for my home, even if the roof needs to be fixed. When you can take gratitude and integrate it into every single nook and cranny of your life is going to show up differently. That is why we practice the gratitude today. I encourage you, I absolutely encourage you to begin from now to the end of this year on a regular basis. Be grateful for things that are real and be grateful for things you desire even before they show up. Be grateful for your eyes, your senses, your body, your home, your bed, this country. Be grateful for your family, your friends. Even be grateful for your struggle, not in a bypass way, but to understand that you're alive. And we're each going to have to, if we want to embrace possibility, we need to embrace the things that we struggle with in this community. Be grateful for the people behind the scenes. Be grateful for the board members. Be grateful for the practitioners. Be grateful for the people that continue to do, right here, there's about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours on a Sunday. It looks like a simple thing. But I promise you, behind the scenes, the amount of work and meetings and communication and consistent training that happens it's something to be grateful for. This community is a beautiful place. It is a beautiful and sacred place. Be grateful for it every day, because I got news for you. You and each other is what is going to get you through COVID. Leaning on each other is how we're going to get through COVID. I don't know about you. I thought this would have been done a while ago. And initially, never in my wildest imagination did I think that Thanksgiving was going to be on Zoom. Never in my wildest imagination. Okay. What I'd like you to do right now is I'm going to pray around this for us right now. I'm going to take it into treatment. And so once again, I'm going to ask you to put your hands on your body. I don't care where. I don't care if you're hugging yourself, your hands are on your heart. I don't care where, but contact your body. Let's get plugged into the body, because our body tells truth. Our body never lies. We as humans have learned to deceive ourselves, but our body will not deceive us. It lets you know when you're plugged in or not. So as you listen to my words today, let them land at a cellular level in and throughout your body. And this is going to be a little different than what you normally hear from me. So just give me license, if you will, creative license. And feel into it with me, if you will. Let the couple of moments of silence emphasize our relationship with the divine. And I say to you now, thank God. Oh, thank God, thank God, thank God. Thank God, thank goodness. Thank you to love. Thank you to compassion. Thank you to beauty. Thank you to wholeness. Thank you to life itself. Thank you. Thank you to the body that gave birth to me. Thank you to the air that I breathe. Thank you to the thoughts that I think. Thank you to knowing that I can rise up. Thank you for this community. Thank God for feeling healthy, emotionally, physically, spiritually healthy. Thank God. Thank Spirit. Thank life. Thank wholeness. Thank energy. And simply feel into that with me, if you will, please. I declare for each one of us that our body right now is responding to the call of love. Love responding to love. I declare on behalf of each one of us that if there's been an ache or a pain or a discomfort, that as we listen right now to the call of love, that even our ailments seem to lose their power here. Feeling whole and feeling alive Even creativity finds us because we're focusing on our gratitude and our love. Oh, thank God. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Please chant this with me. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. And I know for each and every one of us now that the beauty, the presence, and love itself washes over us, carries away any toxins, carrying away any ideas of limitation, and lifts us to a holy place for this season, lifts us to inspiration, lifts us up to be the fullness of our divine birthright. I'm so grateful. I surrender this word right here, right now, to love, to law, to the awe of life. And so it is.